Hey, didn't see you there. Welcome to my new YouTube channel. This is Jack, and I'm so happy you're here with me watching my video. Welcome. All right, so I'm starting this new YouTube channel. Previously, I had a YouTube channel called ItsJackTime Gaming, and it was all about video games. And unfortunately, what I found was that I just don't have the time to devote exclusively to video games as I would like. So life gets in the way. I've got a real job to go to, and you know how it is. But so anyway, I thought I was looking at some YouTube channels that I like to watch, and I thought what would be a better way to kind of a more fun way to where I could do more videos and connect with people more than just exclusively gaming's fine and it's fun, but how would I like to connect to people maybe that don't game or that would be interested in a more variety of topics where I'm not excluding a large group of people. So I thought, why not do kind of more of a well-rounded YouTube channel where I could talk about not gaming. I still do my gaming, but I can also do everything else that I like to do too, and talk about life. And so anyway, I came up with this idea. I'm going to call it "Let's Hit the Road, Jack." Don't you come back no more, no more. So let's hit the road. So generally what it's going to be about is things I like to do in my free time, where I could record videos while I'm out on the road or out going someplace on my day off or things of that nature. So I call it "Let's Hit the Road, Jack." And who knows where we'll end up. Maybe I might be out hiking, might be out at a theme park, who knows. Stay tuned and you'll see for yourself. So anyway, today's video is going to be my very first video. I don't have, this is going to be a very simple video here, just a short recording about, obviously, this show here, Monday Night Raw. So a very exciting week in the world of wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan, stay tuned because I'm a big wrestling fan, have been my whole life. And so we'll talk about a lot of wrestling on my review videos. So let's jump in. Of course, this is my very first video on my YouTube channel, so I don't quite yet I'm not going to have any fancy graphics or music quite yet. So give me some time. I'll get that going eventually. But right now, this is just my first video, so we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. It's a big week in wrestling this week with the draft, and as I'm recording this, the draft has happened. I haven't watched it yet. I just watched Monday Night Raw, but the draft has happened. I don't know what happened yet, so I'll be watching that very shortly. So I apologize if you've already seen the draft. You already know what happened. I'm about to find out. I haven't seen it yet. But anyway, this show is about Monday Night Raw, and very exciting week because we have not only Monday Night Raw, SmackDown moved to USA Network and is live now. Just like Raw has always been live, SmackDown's always been recorded. Now SmackDown is live also. And it just seems a very exciting time because we're going back to a brand split, which is great. Which, in other words, we had the show Monday Night Raw on Mondays, and then we had Thursday Night SmackDown, and each show had the same wrestlers on it. But years ago, each one was its own brand with its own set of wrestlers. And so now they're going back to that with the brand split. So the draft is when they're going to basically pick what wrestlers are going to be on what show. So it's very exciting. I'm kind of excited about it, but I'm also a little bit nervous because the last time they did a brand split was not long after WCW went out of business. WWE bought WCW, and as a result, they brought in all these titles, and there were just too many titles. They had the tag team titles for each show. They had a world title for each show. They had the cruiserweight title. They had the U.S. title, the Intercontinental title, the light heavyweight championship at one point, the hardcore championship. I mean, there was just way too many titles out there, and it was time to get rid of some of the titles. And so now it's kind of where I like it, where you have one world champion, you have an Intercontinental champion, you have a United States champion, which personally I would like to see them do away with even the U.S. Championship, because it's kind of a mid-card title like the Intercontinental title. I would like to see one mid-card championship, one tag team champion, one world champion, and of course the women's champion. So, but anyway, I'm hoping they don't introduce more championships. It just gets to be too much. But time will tell. We'll see what happens. If they're going to stick with just the one champion as they have it now, it'll be interesting to see what shows, like how they're going to deal with, let's say the world champion is only on Monday Night Raw. How are they going to start a feud with somebody on SmackDown, or move the title to SmackDown, things of that nature. So that'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. Anyway, it's a very exciting time. So not only do we have the SmackDowns going live, changed to USA Network, we've got the brand split, we've got the draft. Also this Sunday, we've got WWE Battleground, the monthly pay-per-view. So lots of stuff to talk about, not to mention NXT on Wednesdays, which is a great show. So let's jump right into it. Monday Night Raw this week. It's from Providence, Rhode Island. I've got to give big props to the crowd. Big props. They were into the show. They were loud. They were loud. They were responsive, and it was just a great show. And in my opinion, when you've got a live hot crowd, it really makes or breaks the show. If it's a dead crowd sitting on their hands, it really just doesn't feel like a good show. But this crowd was on fire. I got to give it to Providence, Rhode Island. Awesome. So let's talk about the show. To kick off, Stephanie McMahon came out, Shane McMahon came out, and they did their normal, sibling rivalry, bickering, insulting each other and stuff, which can get, it can get old when it's on a weekly basis. But this was interesting because Stephanie McMahon is the commissioner of Monday Night Raw. Shane McMahon is the commissioner of SmackDown, and both were going to announce the general managers. But to kick things right off, unexpected announcement here, I did not see this coming, is Stephanie McMahon just throws this bombshell down that exclusively on Monday Night Raw, they're bringing in the Cruiserweight division. Now, if you're subscribed to the WWE Network, you've seen the Cruiserweight Classic tournament that's going on right now, which is fantastic. I think it's a very exciting time for WWE. They brought in Cruiserweight wrestlers from all over the entire world, even in countries where you wouldn't think they even have wrestling. But there they are. So if you've been watching that, that's exciting. We've got lots of new faces. We'll see how many of them become permanent additions to WWE. Just very talented people. And it'll be very interesting to see who moves on in the tournament and makes a name for themselves. And a lot of these guys, some of you've heard of them before. Tajiri's in it from ECW. And some people I've never heard of in my life. I don't really watch the independent circuit either, and a lot of them are from the independent scenes. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens, but it's very exciting. So anyway, the bombshell was that Monday Night Raw will now have a Cruiserweight division. Now, we haven't seen a Cruiserweight division in the WWE since I don't know what year, but they brought in the Cruiserweights from WCW, which introduced back in the day. That's what introduced the Lucha Libre style of wrestling into WWE, and now the Japanese style even, and just lots of international different styles of wrestling into WWE, and they call it the Cruiserweight division. So lots of high flying, not just high flying. There's also people that know technical wrestling and mat wrestling, and but it's just very exciting. So that'll be very interesting, and it'll also be interesting to see if they bring back the Cruiserweight title. Like I said, I'm not a fan of too many titles. I would like to see minimize the title straps. So too many of them gets old line. But anyway, after she introduced that, it was time to introduce the general manager. So Stephanie kicked off with Monday Night Raw. And the general manager is none other than the WWE Hall of Famer, Mick Foley. And that was a big surprise. I was not expecting, but I was thinking of so many different names they could introduce for general managers like Ric Flair, or even I'm a big Hulkamaniac, so I was kind of hoping for Hulk Hogan's big return someday. Maybe they're not quite ready for that yet, but you probably know about the circumstances with Hulk Hogan, but I think the guy deserves to be part of the WWE. He helped build the company. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. So Mick Foley, you might know him as Mankind. You might know him as Cactus Jack. You might know him as Mrs. Foley's baby boy. Mick Foley, the general manager of Raw. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll see how entertaining he is. He is an entertaining guy, but he did a short stint as a general manager, or was it Commissioner Foley back in the day, and he was actually very entertaining. So we'll see how this goes. But never to be beat is Stephanie's brother Shane McMahon, and he said, "Well, I've got somebody more popular. I've got somebody bigger than Mick Foley," and he introduced, and it was none other than Daniel Bryan. Yes, Daniel Bryan. So that was pretty cool, and I have never heard in recent years a crowd pop like I heard when Daniel Bryan's music hit and Daniel Bryan came out to the ring, and the place went crazy for Daniel Bryan. So that was cool. That was really cool, and I'm actually very happy now that he can't wrestle anymore, that they've got a place for Daniel Bryan in the WWE, and that's really cool. I'm really happy for him, so that's really awesome. So anyway, I'm not going to go over the entire show match for match. I presume if you watch the show, if you're watching this right now, you've probably watched Monday Night Raw and you already know what happened. So there's overall, I'll give my overall impression. Great show. The matches were great. I think the storylines have been picking up. It's more relevant. The matches aren't as random as they used to be. Everything had a meaning and a build up to the pay-per-view coming up. So it was a great, and the matches were spectacular. The matches were really good. Thumbs up in my opinion. Entertaining start to finish. Just a great show overall. I was really thrilled with it. So let's jump into another announcement they made regarding the upcoming brand split, is that the Lucha Dragons will be individual competitors. So Sin Cara and Kalisto will not be a tag team anymore. They'll not be the Lucha Dragons anymore, which I'm fine with that because they were a very exciting team as the Lucha Dragons. But Kalisto, I think, has gone up here, and Sin Cara has kind of stayed where he's been. And I don't know what the deal is with Sin Cara, but I kind of can see Kalisto getting more of a mid-card push, and Sin Cara probably, who knows what will happen. He might be the next Marty Jannetty to just kind of disappear off of television. He's great too, but I don't know. Kalisto takes it to a whole nother level, and I think he deserves a solo push, and he's a great wrestler. And you know, all the years I've been watching wrestling, and you think, what else can they come up with that's new? I've seen it all. But this guy has a moveset that, and even now he does stuff that you've never seen before. I'm like, how can you come up with stuff you've never seen before in all the years that there's been wrestling, and you do something new? That's got to be so hard to come up with new stuff. But this guy does it, and it's spectacular. This guy's just spectacular. He's not a huge guy. He's a little guy. So historically speaking, the WWE doesn't push into a main event status the little guys. But this guy is just spectacular. So we'll see what happens with him. But that's what I'm expecting with this. Who knows what will happen to Sin Cara, but I'm expecting a push with Kalisto. So let's just jump right into the main event. If you watched all the matches, they were all great matches, I got to say. But you know, I don't want to go over every match forever. So let's just jump into the main event. It was a WWE Championship match. Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. And we all know Roman Reigns has been suspended for 30 days because of a wellness violation. In other words, they tested him for drugs and something came up positive. Who knows what it was? I'm not up to speed on that, but he'll be at the pay-per-view on Sunday. But for Monday Night Raw, he was off, and basically Seth Rollins wanted his one-on-one title shot against Dean Ambrose, and what a match. It was spectacular. I mean, they went back and forth, the counters, the kickouts. I mean, it was just the chain wrestling, the technical side of it. It was just, what a match. This is why I'm a wrestling fan, matches like this. This is spectacular. So anyway, at the end, the ref kind of gets knocked down on accident a little bit, and Seth Rollins goes to suplex, do a superplex off of the, I think it was the middle rope. But when they landed, Dean Ambrose kind of hooked the leg of Seth Rollins and tried to kind of roll him up a little bit. Well, the referee turns around, counts 1, 2, 3, but it turns out both wrestlers had their shoulders on the mat when the referee counted 3. So, this is nothing we haven't seen before, but it's, what happens when it's a title match. 1, 2, 3, both wrestlers' shoulders are on the mat. So there's this big controversial situation now where one guy thinks he won and the other guy thinks he won, and the referee doesn't even know what to do. So what it ended up happening, was Stephanie McMahon jumps in the ring, and she wants to declare that Seth Rollins is the new WWE champion, and Shane McMahon is obviously not happy about this because he wants Dean Ambrose to be the WWE champion. And so anyway, the show ends, goes off the air on TV that Stephanie McMahon just grabs the microphone and announces that Seth Rollins is the new WWE champion. But obviously there was a whole lot of controversy going on. The referee had not made an official announcement of what was the result of the match. So, and that's how the show kind of went off the air. But if you tune into the WWE Network, they aired the rest of this controversy, where Shane McMahon grabbed the microphone. He says he thinks that Dean Ambrose should retain the title. Then the referee asked to see the replay. Now, if you're a longtime wrestling fan like I am, there's never been replays. This is one of the inconsistencies in WWE where they do sometimes where, rules just kind of change on a dime to fit the situation at hand, and there's no consistency really. There's never been instant replays, but in this case they used it. I thought it worked well for the storyline, regardless of the change of rules suddenly. But the referee wanted to see the replay. They showed 3 different camera angles of the wrestlers, and their shoulders were definitely on the mat from all 3 camera angles. So the referee declared it a draw. There was not a winner, and in the case of a draw, the champion retains the title. So the winner of the match and still WWE champion was Dean Ambrose. So that's the result of the match. If you don't have WWE Network but you watch it on TV, that's what happened. So despite Seth Rollins' music playing and him holding the title up and Stephanie McMahon announcing him as the new champion, that's not the case. Dean Ambrose is the WWE champion. But I got to say, despite the controversial finish, what a spectacular match. I can't imagine the triple threat match coming up on Sunday with the Shield, the triple threat Shield, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. I can't imagine that being any better than this one-on-one match. We all know Roman Reigns' moveset. He does the Superman punch. He does the drive-by drop kick on the outside, and I don't know. I think I think that a triple threat. Although that being said, I've been looking forward for a very long time to see a triple threat match with all 3 members of the Shield, and I do like Roman Reigns, but I can understand how fans feel about him. With the big push, with shoving him down everyone's throats like John Cena 2.0. I can get it. I do like Roman Reigns. I wish people would kind of give him more of a chance, but we'll see what happens. I think he would do better as a heel than a babyface, or something like that. So anyway, that was Monday Night Raw. It was very exciting. I'm really looking forward to the draft to see what happens there. Our tag team's going to be split up. Our husbands and wives like the Miz and Maurice, are they going to be split up? We'll find out. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and watch SmackDown. We'll do another review of that, and I'll let you fill in everything that happens there with the brand split. And then, of course, on Sunday is the big WWE Battleground show, and so that'll be very exciting. So anyway, thanks for checking out my YouTube channel. Stay tuned. We're gonna get lots of cool videos coming up of me driving around doing some fun stuff. So I've already got something in mind coming up this week. So stay tuned. Thanks. Please subscribe. Please share. If you like my video, leave a comment. And I really look forward to this new YouTube channel and getting that going. I do have some new equipment I've got in mind. I'm going to get a new cell phone, probably a new camera, and eventually we're going to get some cool video editing software. If you have any kind of music or graphics or anything like that I can use, if you're one of those content creators out there, it has to be original. And I'll be glad to put it on the show as an intro or something like that. But of course, it has to be original work. So anyway, eventually we'll get some graphics and some music and some different things going on, and rocking and rolling. So thanks for checking it out. Stay tuned. Subscribe, like, share with your friends, and maybe we'll do a mailbag in the future, something like that. If you're a wrestling fan, you like to talk wrestling. Big shout outs to all the wrestling blogs I like to watch, like NoDQ.com, Aaron Rift, Jeff Meacham, Deluxe Man. Watch your channel. So really cool. And there's other channels I watch too, but those are the big ones that I like to watch. So check out their channels for sure as well. But we'll see you in the future. So thanks for checking out my review of Monday Night Raw. 2 thumbs up for me. Great show. I'm really hoping that that trend continues with the great writing. And I've noticed some changes in the last about 2 months or so that the show has gotten a lot better. So stay tuned. We'll get more wrestling shows. We'll get lots of adventures out there too. So thanks for watching. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. Hit the road, Jack. Come back now.